Oda again dropped so many things in the latest chapter 1067, like Vegapunk Devil Fruit Identity, CP0 agents arrive at Egghead, Vegapunk Smile Fruit, and also, Kuma at the Kamabaka Queendom, starts running somewhere in his damaged state. The latest chapter kicks off with the Germa mini arc, where Judge and Caesar started fighting. The chapter begins with the continuation of Luffy and the others' encounter, with the real Dr. Vegapunk from the previous chapter. During that moment, Bonnie asked Vegapunk what happened to his head, since it used to be way larger the last time they met. Vegapunk then tells them that he was born with a genius brain, but he also ate the brain fruit. Here Vegapunk bites his own tongue trying to say the name of the devil fruit. This fruit allows his brain to store unlimited information, but his brain also grows larger with the data absorbed. Because of that downside, Vegapunk had no choice but to cut his brain into various pieces, which would eventually lead to the birth of his satellites. After hearing about how big his brain could be, Chopper was very impressed, while Luffy was a little concerned about the scientist cutting his brain part, which made him ask Vegapunk if doing so would diminish his intelligence. However, Vegapunk corrected Luffy by telling him that the apple on his head is an antenna, and the upper half of giant egg on Egghead Island is made up entirely of his brain, and it's still growing. He also stated that the part of the egg is called Punk Records. The conversation continues with Vegapunk telling Luffy's group that Punk Records is updated every day with additional data from Vegapunk and his 6 cloned offsprings, where he also mentioned how they met Atlas a while back. As Luffy was impressed by this, Vegapunk tells them that with the synchronization they have, the Vegapunks would allow him to perform more of his research and experiment more efficiently than he would by himself. As this amazed Jinbei in a way, Vegapunk considered the current state of his brain as an ever-growing library, where anyone may have access to his knowledge, while others can insert some of their own in it, which excited Chopper since it could help him fulfill his dream in curing all diseases. But despite how amazing such a library can be, Jinbei says it could be bad because some people can add their biased thoughts in it, even though Vegapunk told him that science can't advance if they worry about such things. While everyone was enjoying their time with Vegapunk, Bonnie was still determined to inflict harm to the scientist, unless he returns her father back to his old self. She uses the lightsaber to attack Vegapunk, but the lightsaber is a failed invention since it attracts bugs, which is revealed that Bonnie is scared of bugs so much, she fainted. While Bonnie was unconscious for now, we get a small tribute of the Jaya arc, where Luffy expressed his own knowledge on bugs such as the not-so-large stag beetle he found. However, Vegapunk understood Bonnie's anger and reason for trying to kill him, but at the same time, Vegapunk was also curious about the other dragon that the Straw Hats saw in Wano, and Luffy confirms that it was Momo. Vegapunk then says that Momonosuke Smile Fruit was based on Kaido lineage factor, but was considered a failure because the color of the dragon was wrong, even though it may have successfully inherited all the other traits that Kaido Devil Fruit had to offer. Luffy was then curious about the giant robot, and asked Vegapunk if he created it. Vegapunk answered Luffy's question by telling him that it wasn't really one of his creations, but rather it was a machine that was built 900 years ago, which shocked Luffy and the others. At the same time, Vegapunk also told them that 200 years ago, the robot climbed the red line and attacked Mary Geoise, but during the attack, it ran out of fuel and was captured. The government at the time ordered for its immediate destruction, but researchers of that era were too curious to let them have their way, and decided to cover it all up, so they may take as many time as necessary to learn more about the robot. While Vegapunk was glad that Luffy and the others came, he also apologized for how they were treated until now. We then see Frankie's group with Saka who are watching Luffy's group through a monitor. During that moment, Robin says that 200 years ago was the same year the Fishman discrimination incident took place. Saka then told them that the Vega Force O1 that Lilith piloted was based on the ancient robot, but Vegapunk couldn't find out what was the source of energy the robot used, even with all the technology currently in his possession. However, the rest of the group were glad to know that Luffy and the others are alright, while they were also aware of Bonnie's presence. As Vegapunk felt bad for Bonnie, Luffy asked if he should just apologize to her, but he replied that it is something Luffy could never understand. Vegapunk then says there's something he wants to give to Bonnie, while also telling Luffy that their meeting must be fate's doing, and asks him to help him leave Egghead. Meanwhile, Lucy's group and other Cypher Paul agents arrive at Egghead, and request access to the island to return Kuma Seraphim. During that time, Lucy received a report that Bonnie was spotted near the area. Lucy says she's a troublesome woman since she escaped many times, but the world government has no use for her anymore, so they can kill Bonnie if they find her. When the Straw Hats learned that Lucy and the others came to the island, they were all terrified. However, the logical Vegapunk Saka denies CP0 access, and tells them to leave the Seraphim where they are now, and go away. At the same time, Sokka then orders the other Vegapunks to prepare for battle. Meanwhile, at the Kamabaka Queendom, Kuma gets up and starts running somewhere in his damaged state. In the final page of the chapter, Dragon wanted to know where Kuma was going, while Ivankov begs Kuma to stay since their battle has only just begun. As we saw the moment when Vegapunk asked Luffy to help him leave Egghead Island, it's no surprise that Luffy's group will soon learn that he is in great danger by his current superiors. However, my best guess on which side Vegapunk will end up in by the end of the arc is that he becomes a new temporary member of the Straw Hats, until probably the end of Elbaf, or the Revolutionary Army, where current technologies may give them the advantage needed in the final battle of the series. Also, if Kuma is running to go and save Vegapunk, as well as Bonnie, and the Revolutionary Army decides to follow him, will this be the first step towards the official encounter between Luffy and his father Dragon? And that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I also asked you to subscribe to help us. I am still learning English, so forgive us for any mistake, and if you like, please subscribe.